Yo, man, we back. So obviously the surroundings, if you look around, are a little bit different. It's a we're in the black
They
hole
are.
of we're in the black hole of Zoom. But hey, man, you got to do what you got to do sometimes when my internet is trash, right?
Yeah, and your internet is trash. I mean, that's putting it mildly.
100%. I don't appreciate the dulcet tone you just had there, with just like still trying to do the Power Love Hour voiceover guy. I don't appreciate that at all.
That's right.
Hey, ladies. All right, but
Hey,
I'm
it's 11 o'clock on a Friday night. Where is your man at?
so
I can
stupid.
tell you where I'm gonna be at.
In your bed. Hey, so yeah, on today's podcast, we're gonna be talking about catching up. You know what I mean? We haven't done one since Wednesday. Talk about the shit we've been up to. Rogan, obviously, is the biggest podcast news almost ever, so we gotta cover that. Chick Fil A, spoiler alert, should be open on Sundays, and one day at a time, a new show I've been watching. My brother from another mother, hit that intro, man.
Man,
Bam, 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 bam,
it's a good
bam.
thing you didn't cut me off.
What are you doing right now?
The big V. Look, man.
All right, man. Let's just jump right into this shit. So,
I made my wife wake up and drive me there anyway.
you,
It's a major.
what's that con eso?
Había
What's
que
that con
hablar
español?
español. ¿Qué pasó, papá? ¿Cómo estás? Any questions?
Now, when you bought that sweater, right? You just go, fuck it. I'm going full Mr.
Goddamn right, I'm
Rogers.
going full Mr. Rogers.
You've tuned into the Manchatter podcast. Uh, yo, the fact that I cut those clips, that was kind of genius. I miss you wearing those sweaters, bro. I miss you being all professional and showing up right after work.
I
And
don't miss
that's,
going into the office.
yeah. Are you ever gonna go back into the office? You think?
This job is the new job that I started on Monday
Right.
is a 4 day a week telework position, so I only have to go in on Thursdays.
Oh, sweet.
But really, I'm hoping the DoD goes to like full just virtual work if you don't need to. Like the only reason we go or they want us going in there, at least my supervisor, is just so we can see each other's faces. Like, why the fuck would I want to do that?
But isn't that what you have
But hey,
Zoom, like how we're doing right here? Like this.
exactly. We have Microsoft Teams and the new stuff that they're rolling out called
Right.
like DoD 365 or something. I don't know. But whatever. It is what it is. Right
It
now
is.
I've been full time for over a year.
Yeah, you've been at home the whole
Full
time.
time telework. Yeah.
Yeah, which is sweet. Sidebar. We've been trying to record this for the last 45 minutes. So we're probably
Yeah.
about a drink, a cup and a half into this. So get ready for some
Yeah, there was
wild
more.
shit.
There was more bourbon in here for sure. And look, honestly, and I told you this before the show, like I'm not even drinking because it's part of the show. I'm drinking because
My
now
internet.
your internet drives me to drink. Even on days that we don't do a podcast, I'm drinking, and I don't really drink like that. But
Yeah.
I'll send you a message, and it just reminds me, this fucking guy. Where's the bourbon?
Yeah. I'll get it 2 days later and I'll respond. But yeah, man.
Yeah.
What you been up to, man, since Wednesday?
I've actually not been very connected to all this shit that's going on. I had to do some research over the last day and a half of
That's good.
Rogan, and like I see the headlines, like I do with everything,
Right.
but I just say, oh, that's nice. On to the next thing. I've been staying away from the news cycle. I have no idea what's going on in the world of politics. We, my wife loves projects, so she's
Yeah.
working on some stuff.
Yeah.
The thing is, that's great because the house, like I think you guys might have seen the barn door and all this crazy stuff on the
Yep.
last episode. Like a lot of the stuff that we've done over the years, that it was her idea, and so she'll start it, and then I'll join in because I have to.
Right. Of
Like I
course.
can't just. I could just watch her do it, but I choose not to. But she wants to do like, well, she'll start one project and then she'll start another and then she'll start another, and she wants to do all the projects. I'm like, let's take it one at a time.
Yeah.
We got the summer, we've got nice weather, you can do
Yeah.
it throughout the week. So yeah, I mean, we got that going on. I got a workout today.
There
I
you go.
went to pick up 20 pounds of topsoil. They're 40 pounds each, so I had to load them. I had to pull that beast Then I had to load them back from the cart onto my car, and then I had to unload them in the house.
Yep.
So I turned that into a little workout. I walked one over, dropped it, then I would sprint back to the truck, grab
Smart.
another bag, drop it in the backyard. Yeah.
Little
So,
circuit training there.
Yeah, this bourbon's hitting a little bit harder now because of that, I think.
No, yeah, because especially if you didn't eat. Because remember, the rule is you can't eat 30 to 45 minutes before you drink bourbon. So
For sure. I have to be safe an hour. And I wanted some Chick Fil A, but we know how that worked out.
yeah, spoiler alert, they should really be open on Sundays. But yeah, man. Yeah, dude, projects like a motherfucker over here too. We're still working on the bathroom. Finally finished painting it, painted the baseboard. Right before came on here, she's like, my wife goes, you got a couple minutes to help me hang up the shower curtain? Which of course she's only 5 foot tall, so I had to use
Of course you do.
of course. And I was like, all right, yeah, of course I do. Of course I have a couple extra minutes. Finish that. And then, she's just doing the little tinkering of positioning, like decorations and stuff like that.
Right.
So that's been fun. But yeah, man. Yesterday we went kayaking. I think we kayaked. Honestly, if I told you a distance, I'd be lying to you. So it was like a 4-hour experience, right? Like we went out, but it was cool because it wasn't just like straight kayaking where you have to paddle the whole time. We went to this place called Hunter Springs, where you paddle out and then you go to this little like secluded area. Not secluded because like there's a bunch of other like this little area off to the side where there isn't like boats passing by, and you're able to get off the kayak and go like snorkeling and swimming and stuff like that. But there was a bunch of other people there. It was actually
no gators?
No, but there was a snake. There was a snake and probably about 3 or 4 manatees. So that was cool.
Man, I'm not getting out in the water in Florida anywhere unless it's out in the sea. I'd rather deal with a shark because I know they're there, but a fucking gator can be anywhere
bro. Yeah.
I told you about my damn near being attacked by a gator. I thought they're gonna come after me and bite my arm off when we were down in Florida a couple weeks ago or last month.
No, you didn't tell me this at all, bro.
What?
Yeah, no, you didn't tell me that.
I'm sure we discussed that story.
No.
Yeah, we went kayaking when we were in that week that I was down there
right
for spring break. And down in Melbourne, ton of manatees, a ton of them. Like I could feel them swimming under my kayak and like bumping me and stuff. But manatees are, not the brightest. That's why they unfortunately get killed every year by all these boats. But they're docile animals.
Yep.
And we went out and back. I was on a kayak by myself, and then Mel had the double with Javi. Then we came back. We switched. So I got into the double with Javi. It was a double that didn't have like the support in the back, so I was feeling, that lower back pain.
Oh yeah.
Eventually, like I started feeling it because it didn't have that extra seat. But I got that core, so I was good. But I started feeling it a little bit.
Don't be disrespectful.
No, that lower back was a motherfucker.
Yeah, it's not a game, bro. It's not a game.
And
an awkward position.
as we're moving, yeah, it's weird. As we're moving, we look to the right. We're about 30 feet from the shore, all these houses that are on the water, and we see a gator just there, about 6, 7, maybe 8 feet, not 8 feet, I'd say 6 to 7 feet. So it was a decent sized gator.
Yeah.
And we're looking fucking dead still. And Mel was maybe 20 feet behind me, and she's like, is that real? And I looked at it, and in my mind, I'm like, oh, that's fucking real. But it was, it's so still, and as they can be. And I'm like, I don't know. Let's just keep paddling and we'll see. And I saw it flinch, like its left hind leg. It just moved 1/100th of a fucking millimeter. And I noticed that shit. And I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah,
and then after I know, like, I think we made eye contact, and it knew that I saw it move. And then that fucking hind leg just goes like this completely. And then it smoothly goes into the water. And Mel was like, what? She turns around, starts paddling.
Yeah.
And then me and her, she's like gets a little
freaked out. Understandable.
Just frightened, obviously freaked out. And I'm like, all right, let me start paddling backwards. And I told Javier, just kind of lift your paddle out of the water, and I'm gonna paddle us out of here. As long as we paddle away, eventually it'll start following us, because it got into the water straight for our kayak. We were closer to it.
Right.
And I'm paddling, and I saw it, and I saw its eyes, and then
nothing.
I didn't, and I'm like, oh, this motherfucker went underwater. It's like shit. So I just kept going. I should have been on. If there was a time for me to make row in a damn Ivy League school, I would have been it. I would have made that fucking squat. I would have set Olympic records. But just I was out. And after a while, I'm like, yeah, it's been not even after a while, 15 seconds. I'm like, if he wanted to get to us, he would have been to us already by now.
Yep.
15 seconds is plenty of time. But
Yeah,
that was my kayaking experience. But I wasn't gonna get into the water in a fucking lake in Florida. I know better. I grew up there. So you getting out to go snorkel
Yeah.
in some wherever you were.
Yeah,
I don't
in
know
the
what
middle
the
of
hell's
nowhere.
wrong with you.
Well,
No.
listen, man. Sometimes you gotta understand that if it's your time, it's your time. You know what I mean? Like D.L. Hughley said, "It's God's will." You know what I mean? If his kids get attacked by a gator, it's pretty much God's will. You just gotta let it go. But nah, I got punked by a snake. We had our kayaks all attached to each other. You know what I mean? Like hooked into each other.
Yeah.
And then saw a snake, so I grabbed all our kayaks and go ahead and pulled them. You know, they're on water, so it's very easy to do. So I pulled them away, and then just want to make sure that we're away from the rocks. But you know, we were good. But it was actually a good time, man. I got punked by a dolphin on a kayak once because all I saw was a fin.
Yeah.
Like we were in brackish water, and you know some sharks can go into brackish water.
Yeah. Inland. Yeah.
So
Or not inland, but yeah, into that water. Yeah.
So all I saw was a fin, and then Mel goes, "No, it's a dolphin." I was like, "I don't know what the fuck that is." All I saw was a fin, and it's coming right towards us. And
Yeah.
like it comes up right after, and it was a tandem kayak, so it comes up right after us. Then I saw it was a dolphin, but that didn't stop me from screaming. I was like, "Yo, we're about to fucking die. That's it. I'm dead. It's a shark. It's a shark." It was over for me. I thought it was that was how I was gonna die. And of course, my wife makes a fucking video out of it, makes it into a movie trailer of when Ben. I think she called it.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I'm gonna have her send it to me so I can send it to you. Shit's hilarious. She like did the whole music and all that thing to it, and all it is just me being scared. Yeah, so that happened. That was my kayaking fear story. But yeah, the back pain is not a game, bro. On kayaks, obviously my core is like I have it, but it's not been worked on in a while. So my shit is hurting, son. Like I can't. I sneezed earlier. That shit still hurt. But yeah, dude, like, so what was cool about it?
That sneeze is a fucking core workout after
Dude,
being on the kayak.
yeah, dude, like I was, so you paddle out because it's like open water.
Mm-hmm.
You paddle out, and then there's this little rest stop, right, where you like dock the kayak and take a little break, and then keep paddling. I was like, yo, I'm gonna have to stop there because my back,
Yeah.
my stomach was shaking. I was in so much pain trying to sit up straight. So I dock it, then I adjust the seat, and it gets a little bit better. But then remember, it's not a solid thing, right? It's like an ergo soft. It's almost like a memory foam in a way. So eventually starts giving way. So that's what happened. So like eventually started giving way. I was like, yeah, we're gonna have to get to wherever we're going to soon, or else I'm quitting. Like somebody's gonna have to haul me in because I got nothing else. And then so when we got to the little docking, I know you're looking at your hair, you son of a bitch. I got so I get to the docking thing, and there's this big guy, probably about 260, probably 250 to 260. He's like, yeah, man, what you got to do if those are your kayaks, you got to get a stadium seat. So you get a stadium seat, the one that you use for like bleachers.
That's it.
And I was like, boom, fucking light bulb. Is like, because it's solid, it's stiff. You know what I mean? It's like the hard aluminum, and you won't have that. Like it's a hard. So it's like fucking brilliant. As soon as we got back to the car, I looked for it. They have it at Walmart for like $15. I was like, yeah, I'm definitely buying that because we have our own kayak, so definitely gonna be doing that shit. So I was like, I'm definitely, because I like kayaking. I do enjoy it.
Did you just buy those?
We're gonna buy
them.
So we've had two kayaks for a while, but those kayaks weren't good for my weight limit. You know what I mean? Because I'm saying I'm 300 pounds. So those were like 250. So it would be very hard to paddle because being my weight, it drops it down. So you're almost like level with the water. So being able to get out isn't as easy. So I had to I got to sit on top kayak as opposed to a slide in kayak. The difference is just it's all open at the top, which takes some getting used to if you've never done it.
Well, they're fishing kayaks essentially. The ones that you sit up top, and then the other ones are meant for like, whitewater rafting and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So now that water getting inside,
but they have more support.
Exactly. So when I first got out, dude, like I was rocking. Every time my paddle go in the water, that's the way my kayak would tilt. So I'm having to like engage my non-existent core of trying to figure it the fuck out. Where I'm like, I'm like, oh, okay. Well, and like, but something like my
Yeah,
quads,
you
my
can't be leaning.
quads, yeah, my quads, my hammies, my calves, because I'm trying to like, I'm engaging my legs to try to solidify the situation, and it was fucking miserable, bro. I was like, yo, like, this is great. It's a great workout, but my God, is this exhausting? So I was ready to jump in the water. The water was cold. I was ready to cool the fuck down, man. I needed that shit.
Oh shit.
Yeah, yeah, it's better. You had way too much light. You were looking like your credit score
More
was
dramatic
900.
lighting.
Yeah, your credit score was like 900 on that one.
Shit. As a matter of fact, here, let me see if I can do this. 900 credit score? Damn.
Man,
I
is that even possible?
I'm sure someone can make it happen.
Yeah, I got.
I had the reason why I had it that way is because we had to set up for Javi, who had like another audition. So we
Got
had
you.
to set up the other backdrops and light and all that stuff. So
Yeah,
that's never
I got
turned the lights around.
Yeah, that was crazy. But yeah, kayaking was fun, man. And obviously projects around their house that are never ending. But yeah, it's the same thing with my wife as your wife, where like the projects start to build, and then like the list of
Yeah.
the build overwhelms them to be like, hey, look, we can literally only do one project at a time. Like we tried to frame our window, our mirror, right? That's in this bathroom here, the one that you guys used when you were here.
Right.
We try to frame the mirror with some wood. Ends up that like the wood is slightly bowed enough to be a pain in the ass, right? Or like even cutting it down, like then it, like you'll shrink it, and then it won't cover the mirror right, or it just became a pain. So like a very easy project where you just have to cut it to the certain length, and then 45-degree angle ends up not being right because of the wood being bowed. So I was like, do you really want to frame this window, this mirror? She's like, I don't know if I like it or not. Like it's that we put it up enough to like for us to be able to see it. She's like, I'm not sold on it one way or the other. I was like, then I don't know what to do. Let's just put this off to the side and revisit it because the wood's already cut. But there's always projects, bro. Always projects. But yeah, man.
Yeah, that's why I'm not a huge fan of
HGTV.
home ownership, even though every house I've owned, like we've owned a house since we got back from Korea in 2009.
Okay.
With the exception of when we were in Washington State, we rented that house for maybe 2 years.
Right.
I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan.
No, I don't.
Big
I don't
yards, not a fan.
Yeah, and you see what I got.
Not a fan of that shit.
You see, yeah. You see, fuck. It's just like, dude, it's overwhelming in the house. Like the like repainting the baseboards and figuring out what you want to do for tile or this door or that door. Just every single thing is just such a huge decision because it almost feels like you can't undo it because you're spending so much money or man hours on it. Gets exhausting, bro. Exhausting.
I'm looking forward to not because I'm gonna kick him out of the house, but when Javi graduates and I know he'll leave, he'll go off to college or do whatever it is that he's gonna pursue. Whoa, I just kicked the damn mic stand. Or camera stand. But yeah, in 6 years, when he leaves, we're selling this house. This house is gone. And we were thinking about getting an apartment, but the other thought is getting a nice duplex in the city or close to the center of the city, where we can like kind of get out, walk around, go to things, restaurants, things like that, where we don't have to have the car.
Right.
And we have our neighbor pay for our damn mortgage. Like we might not make any money because we're thinking of getting something that's already done and it's already probably at market value.
Right.
But we really essentially won't have a mortgage, which is the same thing as being in an apartment. You'll have a neighbor.
Yeah.
Because then these duplexes usually have like they're just houses, but they have small yards. You don't really have to worry about mowing anything except maybe a 5x10 strip in front of your house, maybe if that much.
Right.
It's all concrete in the back for you to pull your car into the garage. So I'm looking forward to those days. Unfortunately, we're still like 5 years and some change away from that.
Yeah. But, 6 years right till he goes out to college. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's that long.
Yeah.
All right, man. You know me, I'm terrible at segues. As I pour myself a second glass of some Eagle Rare. I'm only drinking this.
I mean, it's my first one, but it was
that was a big ass glass, bro. That was a 2 glass.
Yeah.
That was one fell swoop of fucking of bourbon, bro. Like I don't know what you were doing over there.
Like
you forget your 130
like 8 fingers.
Yeah.
8 fingers. Apparently, that's what Jenna Jameson likes too. So
Jesus, how old is that reference, John?
I don't know. Jenna Jameson's got to be like 87 years old
Yeah,
right now.
exactly. She's like a Jesus Christ. That's like grandma porn. That's crazy.
Oh shit.
But yeah, man, let's get into this Rogan talk, bro. The biggest podcaster in the world. You know we got to talk about it. The reason why we podcast, the reason why we started a podcast, why I started a podcast and had you join in, was because of Joe Rogan.
Thank you. I'm so honored.
Yeah,
Thank you.
bow.
Thank you.
Take a knee before you're king. That's right.
Okay.
Acknowledge me, bitch. All right, man. Do that screen share shit that
the
you
fact
could
that
do.
you have to say acknowledge me.
Yeah,
is
well,
disappointing.
that's a only person that's gonna get that reference is gonna be Jonathan. Is he myth or legend, bro? I can never figure that out.
Bro, he's the myth.
All
I
right,
am
so
the legend.
all
You
right,
gotta get that
so
shit right.
Jonathan Myth. It's a WWE reference. Roman Reigns, The Rock's cousin, starts saying "acknowledge me." So that's where I got that from. Because he beats everybody's ass out of like his own insecurity.
Let me capture. Yeah. Let me capture the right amount of screen.
Yeah. Yo, shout out to Zoom for coming through in the clutch, man.
Right. I mean, we don't have all our branding and whatever, but I mean, Zoom, we realized a while ago that the quality is just it's unmatched.
Yeah, 100%.
It's unmatched and it's free.
And it's
all
free.
Right. Are you able to see this?
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm sharing the audio. Let me see how it comes through. Let me know if it's smooth. I'm gonna hit play. This is a clip from his podcast
with Dave Smith, another comedian,
last week with Dave Smith. Yeah, where he's talking about opposing vaccine passports. I don't know if this is where he actually mentions. Do you want to set it up before we start? Maybe I should stop the share.
the big thing last week that happened with Rogan that literally CNN, everybody, and Dr. Anthony Fauci, everybody was commenting on was that Rogan. I guess if that's the right clip, I don't know if you want to try and listen to it offhand and not share it. Make sure that's the one. But they
let me do that.
Yeah. So if you're listening to us, so Rogan made a comment giving somebody advice saying that if he was a 21-year-old, if a 21-year-old healthy eating person that works out, that he would tell them not to take the vaccine. If somebody asked him, I was like, all right, cool, bro. But my issue with it, right? If he goes, look, I'm not taking the vaccine. That's fine. That's your choice. I don't, whatever. You know what I mean? People have their choice. You know, there's anti-vaxxers out there. They've been around forever. My issue was that like he gave it an advice, right? Like he goes, I would tell them not to take it. As almost like, do you forget that those 21-year-olds have parents, grandparents, people that hang around other social circles? It's a very small way to look at the vaccine argument, right? Because and then what he says on the next day when he apologizes, when he kind of sort of backtracks with Andrew Santino. What was interesting about that is he goes, oh, I'm an idiot. Like what? Nobody should listen to me. No, Rogan, you got paid $100 million, bro. You're not just an idiot. You are a savvy businessman and should understand that you impact tons of people. Again, like acknowledging that this podcast was started because of a Rogan podcast that he had with Russell Brand, right? But what's weird to me, right? Yeah. And we could, after we watched the video, if you checked it out, I got some other points. Like it's weird to me that like a year ago he was a Bernie Sanders supporter. That's super super government taking over control of what you believe. You know what I'm saying? Because they put him out to be like a communist, a dictator, and all this stuff. And then now a year later, it's like, nah, man, I wouldn't tell anybody to get a vaccine because the government says to. I don't know how you make that leap in a year. That's just me as a personal question. If John, you got any idea, please fill me in. Like how you make that kind of, because that's too big of a jump, right? Like that's like if me, who's obviously left leaning and social, you know what I mean, social safety nets and all that stuff. Next year was like, nah, man, fuck, don't help anybody. Fuck them all. Fuck them all. Like, no, I don't give a fuck. No. Oh, what you have?
When did he say that? When did he say that?
When did he say what?
Oh, that's you. That's you with okay, your hypothetical of you saying fuck them
Yeah,
all. Because
yeah,
but
no,
Rogan has always had that's been the issue with Rogan and Spotify, right? And before that, that he's always had these right or far right characters, Alex Jones,
Ben
Milo
Shapiro.
What's the Yiannopoulos,
Yep.
Shapiro, all
Steven
these
Crowder.
right or far right, Steven Crowder, right, who has his own channel, by the
Yep.
way. So it's not like he's bringing these guys out of nowhere. They have big followings in their own right.
100%.
And so, but he also brings on other comedians. But Rogan has always been a centrist or right of center. Like that's not a new like some sure there are some things that he leans left on, but he's always been that guy, right? He's always supported his personal liberties, his freedoms. I
Mhm.
guess you could describe him as a libertarian.
Yeah.
He's pro guns, goes out hunting, doesn't want to be told what to do by the government, which is like a very libertarian thing. That's one of their big things in their platform.
Yep.
Um, and he's to this day, since he started with Spotify now, what back in September,
Yep.
that's been the thing. He's still bringing on these right conservative or even more than conservative guests, and the problem is that people don't want those opinions aired, and because he has millions of followers, those opinions, those conversations get spread.
Yep.
So I
Because
mean,
he's the
I don't know
biggest
that
voice.
he's because he is the biggest voice. Um, so like I'm not surprised by it because I never thought of him as a liberal or a Democrat. I always thought of him as someone that leaned close, more right than anything. And he's brought on people from both sides. I heard the comments. I can't find the clip. This clip right here is from over a week ago, so I don't think it's the one that everyone's talking about. I
I
do see
know
clips of other sites, other outlets that talk about him, and they play the
if you
clip. I think that he plays.
if you want to go what look obviously look my my view of it will tell you to go to like the Young Turks, right? Which like the damage report. I think John Idarola had like a clip of him saying it. But if you want to watch it, I want to make sure it gets into the context. Like here's my and I want your opinion on this, obviously, always, right? Here's my issue with the Rogan hot
Mhm.
take of I wouldn't let young people take the vaccine. At the beginning, this is an argument, like a back and forth. Argument always sounds too intense. Like a back and forth that my wife and I had about Rogan when COVID first started, right? Because he was still continuing to do podcasting and all this stuff. Where like now he's saying like he says now like, or he even said then like, oh, it's not that big of a deal. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like minimizing. Rogan had people tested as he before he did a podcast with them and waited for the test results to come back before you know what I'm saying? Like, so those two things don't coincide, right? They don't click. If it's not that big of a deal, then why are you having your guest tested? You know what I mean? Like that, how does that make sense? We're like, oh, I'm gonna tell a 21-year-old, but dude, like you don't know that that's such a monolithic statement. Where like if a 21-year-old eats healthy and all this stuff and works out, you still don't know their family history, right? Like they could work out and do all this shit.
Right.
What if they have diabetes? You know what I'm saying? Like it can't be this open ended statement where like, oh, a 21-year-old. No, man. And then they bring up other and I could be putting a couple different videos together where like so like, oh yeah, Dave Smith goes, oh, I'm not gonna have my daughter getting a shot. She's 4. Like nobody said there's nothing in the CDC guidelines says that you need to have your
There's
daughter
no
vaccinated.
vaccines for anyone under 16.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
what
the
if
only vaccine that's safe is
you know what I'm saying? Like we're like
yeah. So,
you're
but
putting
these are guys that they have their, but you also have to take that into context. These are guys that have their beliefs that, like he's like Dave Smith says something. I'm not gonna have my girl vaccinated. No, you can't. Right now, there's no vaccine
yeah.
that's considered safe for anyone under 16. I just got a message, and it's a mass message from school saying if you have a 16-year-old, we are offering a vaccine for anyone that's 16 or over. If you would like your son or daughter to be vaccinated, our son is not over 16,
Right.
or our youngest son is not over 16, but it's sent by the Strongs by our school district to all parents.
Right.
But again, that's just them not being completely informed, but their feelings about I'm not getting fucking vaccinated because I don't want to be chipped or whatever crazy shit they got going on.
Right.
Like
And
no one's telling you to vaccinate. I'm not even vaccinated because I joke with my wife. I'm like, I love you. You got vaccinated. I didn't even know you were gonna get vaccinated. She went to an appointment at the VA and they were offering it, and I get a text message that says I got my first dose. I'm like, what? I thought you were going in for a dental. What the fuck is going on right now? She said, well, they were offering it, so I got it. I was like, well, we'll see 6 months from now. I hope you're still around. I love you, but we need to update our life insurance.
yeah, like it's
but there is no I not that I don't trust it. Like I think these vaccines are, I would think they're safe. I get that they're trying to make a statement. They want to take a stance. Like I don't want to have to take the vaccine to travel, but the vaccine passport thing is a thing. It's not something that's made up. It's something that all these
That's been
countries in the
discussed.
EU and the US, they want to do it. That's not a conspiracy theory. So
no, and
I don't like that.
And I'm not
Because
saying
I don't need a flu vaccine to fly to Europe, but now I have to get a COVID vaccine to fly.
Well, you need certain shots to go to Africa, right? Like if you go to certain,
very true.
You know what I mean? Like
so you don't catch whatever's going on over there.
Exactly. So you don't catch what's going on over there. But so they're like it's a new thing, but this is a worldwide phenomenon. It's not an America specific attack.
Yeah, but I gotta cut you off because I think you and I are. This doesn't hit us the same way, and I'm surprised that a lot of veterans and active duty people are reacting the way that they are because we were in the military. Yep. At least the Army, and I'm guessing the Marine Corps is the same way. We had all sorts of fucking shots.
100 that week. I don't even know
anthrax
what they were.
Anthrax shots. Remember the anthrax scare 20 plus years ago, early on in the war on terrorism that we still got going on. Like everyone and people were getting envelopes in their office. We had to get anthrax shots.
Yes.
Like I don't know how many boosters, like how many series of anthrax, and then get updated every so often. That shit is still a thing, but that's not for the public, the
masses,
like the population. That's just for military. That's not for the public masses. So I was desensitized to that. I'm like, okay, just give me the next shot. And so it's not a big deal to me, but I don't want to rush getting this. But I'm gonna have to get a damn vaccine if I want to go to Greece.
Yes.
And Spain
but
again, because they're opening up the EU.
My wife and I are both vaccinated, right? Fully vaccinated. We still wear masks and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. And again, like
me too.
I understand I just like I would never tell a woman what to do with their body. I'm not gonna like we've shitted on anti-vaxxers on this podcast many a times, right? And like it's weird that like now
I'm the anti-vaxxer right now.
Yeah, you're currently the anti-vaxxer, right? Where like I think we saw that video with the Netflix thing where it's like that had that lady with like 4 kids, like all my kids are homeschooled, none of them are going to the
anti. Fucking ridiculous.
You know what I'm saying? Like they're all anti. So it's like you have to look. I'm not nor have I or will I ever be an epidemiologist, scientist in that way, right? But you could look at like I know this is my anecdotal evidence or anecdotal conversation. One of my doctors was in the trials for the Moderna, right? And he told me what it was all like and what it was all about. So I have that firsthand knowledge from an actual physician that I know telling me what it was like. So it's easy for the misinformation to get out there, right? Like what you said, like the feelings of it. Yeah, certain countries are gonna demand. Okay, don't sniff it like that. And I saw that.
I'm listening to you. Just keep talking.
Yeah.
All right. Just because I'm enjoying my bourbon and I know how to enjoy my bourbon, that's none of your business.
It's very distracting. It feels like you're about to snort it. Fucking Pablo Escobar. But look, certain countries can demand whatever they want to for you to fly into their country because that's the right of the government. You agree with it or don't, then just don't go to those countries, right? Like we can't go to certain countries because my wife can't get the malaria vaccine or whatever it is to go to Africa because of her Crohn's, right? So there's certain things you adjust to. Being outraged at something that's not happening or currently happening is weird to me. Right? Like, oh, my daughter's not going to get the vaccine. But your daughter couldn't get the vaccine if she wanted to. So you're being mad about something. You know what I'm saying? Like you're being mad about something that isn't happening. Like I'm afraid of clowns. Like that's
But that shows their ignorance too.
Yeah, like I don't like clowns, but I'm like, yo, if a fucking clown shows up, I'm gonna shoot him. There's no clown that's popping up where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? Like
don't go to the circus.
Don't go to the circus. Like it's very simple. Like these things.
Or kids' birthday parties.
Oh, they're infringing on my liberties. No, they're not, bro. Your daughter couldn't get the they're not infringing on anything. Like 16 years and above. That's who's eligible to get the vaccine. Nothing with your 4-year-old daughter. Dave Smith, your daughter will be fine. You know what I'm saying? Like there hasn't been any talk of it. I don't if Rogan goes, look, man, I'm not getting the vaccine, obviously because he's super rich and he's very limited to the people he's around, and everybody who he's around gets tested. Like Cody Garbrandt talked about it on his podcast, which was like the first time that Cody Garbrandt tested negative was when he went on that Rogan podcast. It's very easy.
Negative or positive?
The first time he was negative, he was positive for like 7 months. For COVID.
Damn.
Yeah, he was constantly being tested. He was all fucked up. It was a crazy podcast. Which is the last time I listened to Rogan. But and the other half of that issue is, right, Rogan could get anybody on. Rogan can right now get Dr. Anthony Fauci on his podcast and talk to him about it, right? Like giving, like me and you, well documented, are two assholes, right? We talk shit, we give opinion. Like if I'm giving you the opinion on something, like I know that's fact, and somebody listens to me like, yo, but Ben from Manchatter or John from Manchatter said to do this. Like there's that level.
And they listed articles and they're peer reviewed. I'm like, we're still two assholes that picked some random articles that supported our opinion.
100%. Like that's the way a human bias would work. But if you're a Rogan that can get out Anthony Fauci, or epidemiologist, which is what he did at the beginning of COVID, right? We're talking to all these doctors. It's very different, and have somebody push back than the echo chamber of another comedian who also agrees with you, who's, hey, look, he might have degrees. I don't know his fucking back record, right? His history. He might have degrees, but I'm assuming it's not an epidemiology or infectious diseases. That's just me as an ignorant asshole on the internet. You know what I mean? On this podcast, I'm assuming that's not where it is. So yes, I've had tons of stupid takes on this podcast, but I'm also not gonna be spewing it like it's fact. Like I'm gonna give you medical advice on what to do with your fucking body. I will never do that shit. I'll give my hot takes on fucking police brutality, and you know what I'm saying, like my issues with authority, so go down the fucking line. But if I don't know, I don't know. And I think that's where the issue was, where he's saying like, well, I'll tell a 21-year-old to not get vaccinated. What if that 21-year-old has grandparents who have underlying conditions? What if a 21-year-old has parents that are older? Because you know what I'm saying? Like it's the minute way of looking at it.
Brothers and sisters that have compromised immune systems. Again, look, you can look at it as another flu, but I've had the flu. I've had bronchitis. I got COVID, which I also feel I shouldn't need to take the fucking vaccine if I already got COVID. That's just, I already have the antibodies, and the vaccine doesn't mean you're not going to get sick. The whole point of the vaccine is, and you know, another reason why people are afraid of it is because they think, oh, you're injecting me with a live virus, which you're not.
Nope.
But so that's another part of people that don't want to get it, that don't understand why. I just don't feel like I need to get it right now because I've already had COVID. I've already developed the antibodies, and having a vaccine doesn't mean that I'm not going to get sick anyway. Just like I have the antibodies now, but that was almost 4 months ago. That doesn't mean that because I have them, maybe my body will react faster than before. And that's what the vaccine does. Yep. But because I got sick, why do I need the vaccine? But I still want to wait it out. I told Mel, I said, hey, one of us has to be around for our kids. You've only had this for about a month. We don't know yet. Give it 6 to 12 months. We'll see what those real effects are.
Did she get the second dose?
Yeah, she got her second one already.
Okay.
She's good.
All
She
right.
didn't feel as bad after the second one. So yeah, but I mean, I'm gonna have to get mine. I'm gonna have to just suck it up and get it because I don't have a choice.
100%.
Yeah, man, it's just ignorance, like what Dave Smith was saying, and then why people on both ends, why he doesn't want his daughter to get it. She can't even get one to begin with for another 12 years.
Right.
And then the people that don't want to get it because they think it's a live vaccine or they're gonna get sick,
or it's a hoax.
Or it's a hoax. I've went through it, man. It hit me harder than any flu I've ever had.
Right.
And again, getting it doesn't bother me. I want to wait because I was in the army for so long that I was getting shots every year. I lost count of how many shots I would get every fucking year. Mm-hmm. And you know, you had med pros. Oh, it's all in the system. It's all automated. You're like, hey, you're doing a month. Go get your shit or you're going to get counseled. Yep. You would get the reminders. So I was getting shots left and right all the time. You didn't have the option of skipping it. So it doesn't bother me. I don't think that the government is trying to, put a chip in or limit the population. Like a lot of things have come from military research, right? A
Yes.
lot of things that we use in our day-to-day lives. And 50 years from now, we'll be like, oh, the reason we don't have polio is because fucking people got vaccinated. The reason we have a lot of things going on is because we got vaccinated.
Yep.
And I'm sure at the time people were thinking the same thing. The government's telling me I have to do this. They're imposing these rules. I don't like big government, et cetera, et cetera. Like there is some truth to that. But at the same time, having gone through it and having felt the effects and how it affected my body and how I felt like shit for 2 to 3 weeks, like even after I got over it, I still felt like crap for like a week to 2
Mhm.
after it. So a month that I wasn't feeling myself. I've never had something like that. And so it's like the COVID for me, I know COVID is not a fucking hoax. I got
Right.
it. I went through it. I felt the effects, and the vaccines are safe, even though the CDC says they're fine. I don't know if they're completely FDA approved as far as like being off the emergency list, because I think they're still
I think
emergency approved,
I'm
but
not
not.
sure. We should probably look that up before.
Yeah, but but while we were talking, I found the clip of your favorite person.
Oh my
Your
god, it
favorite
better.
person. Unfortunately, he's not wearing a sweater, but he talks about Rogan's anti-vaccine statement. So hopefully they don't take the clip out of context. But I'm going to share my screen so we can go through it or watch a few minutes of it,
Did you go
and
Andrew
you'll
Schultz?
know who I'm talking about when I say your favorite person.
If
No,
this,
no, no, no. You really love this dude. You
uh,
love this dude.
oh my god. Oh, that's your twin, bro. Your fucking twin. Look at that, two
David
Pac-Man.
Pacman.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Let's just
An
play it.
Argentine
It's an
on the
11
pod.
minute clip.
Let's do it.
Yeah, an Argentine. My brother from
Yes.
another mother. Yeah,
God,
right.
this looks just like you, bro. I wish we
does?
could do a fucking
Alright.
split screen. Oh my
Let's
god, I
not
wish.
do that.
Yeah, no, we definitely should.
All right.
All
I'm
right,
gonna
hit
hit play.
Do it.
Here we go.
I'm going to say here, I would say to Joe if
Oh.
I were back on his show, this is disagreement about the vaccine. We would be able to talk together about it and everything would be fine. It's not some weaponized hot take or call out. I haven't avoided criticisms of Joe Rogan more than I have of anyone else. I just don't watch much stuff. When people send me something from his show or others, I look at it. The Dan Crenshaw example from a few weeks ago is an example. So let's just jump right in. Joe Rogan made statements on his show about vaccines that I believe are dangerous in what they are encouraging people to do. And the risk that they discount if they follow Joe Rogan's advice is significant and it has to be addressed. So let's look at the first clip and we'll jump right into this.
And people say, do you think it's safe to get vaccinated? I've said, yeah, I think for the most part it's safe to get vaccinated. I do. But if you're like 21 years old and you say to me, should I get vaccinated? I go, no.
Yeah.
Are you healthy? Are you a healthy person? Like, look, don't do anything stupid, but you should take care of yourself. You should, if you're a healthy
Pause it real quick.
person and you're exercising all the time and you're young, and you're eating well, and like, I don't.
So in this conversation, a 21-year-old went up to him for his medical opinion. Okay, all right. Let's screen up. Put it back up.
In this hypothetical situation.
In this hypothetical situation, with probably 5 million followers, downloads, per podcast. Okay, it's a very hypothetical situation.
Yeah. All right. Let's see what he has to say next.
I don't think you need to worry about this.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you.
This is not about you worrying about getting COVID if you were 21 and you don't want the vaccine. When we say the vaccines are 92 to 95% effective, that means 92 to 95%. In some people, they are less effective. Joe's thought process is only about the 21-year-old evaluating their own risk. But what about the risk of others? I don't have to give you a hypothetical. My dad has a type of blood cancer called multiple myeloma. They recently did a study of vaccinated multiple myeloma patients. In them, the vaccine is 50% effective. It's one study, but they took a group of vaccinated multiple myeloma patients. 2 weeks after their second doses, they checked their antibodies. Half of them did not develop antibodies. So my dad got vaccinated. I got vaccinated. My 17-year-old sister vaccinated, right? We all did it. But at some point, things will go back to normal. You won't
Right.
need masks in
Yep.
grocery stores or at the car mechanic or wherever else. So
He's definitely never been
masks
to
are
the.
done.
He's never been to the
The
shop.
21-year-olds don't get vaccinated because they follow Joe Rogan's advice. My dad goes to the grocery store, and some 21-year-old who didn't want to get vaccinated spreads it to my dad. It's not some hypothetical of, oh, I need a mask on the bike path. You all know I'm not big on the outdoor masks. I never thought we needed them except in rare, big crowds. This is the vaccine cuts down your ability to spread the virus by 90%. It reduces the amount of virus that is in the systems of vaccinated people. My dad has a 50% shot of being immune with the vaccine. He did everything he can. He got vaccinated, but he goes to the grocery store or the DMV and it's filled with 21-year-olds that heard Joe Rogan say, if you're 21 and healthy, you don't need to be vaccinated. Well, it's not about your level of risk necessarily.
Mhm.
It is about you as a 21-year-old, as a non-vaccinated person,
Try to see
could
if you
be
can find
infected
the
and
rest of the.
incubating with a large viral load if you're not vaccinated.
Yeah,
And
that's what I'm gonna look for. Let me fast forward past this part. And
I don't even see
I'll stop sharing. So
that's something that I hadn't even thought of, right? Like how effective it is for other people with underlying conditions. So
right.
that's even crazier.
And like his father, who has that multiple myeloma blood cancer, 50%
Yep.
that he will or won't develop antibodies. And look, it's the same thing for me. Essentially, by getting COVID, I developed antibodies because I having the vaccine, but that doesn't last
Nope.
forever. It's
No.
just like why you get a flu shot every year.
It
And
diminishes.
no one
Yeah.
complains about a flu shot every year
Yeah.
unless they're anti-vaxxers.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The only people that complain about flu shots are anti-vaxxers. The only people that complain about all the shots that the kids have to take before they can go to any regular school, public school, and possibly some private schools are anti-vaxxers.
Mm-hmm.
Every other parent, celebrity, not celebrity, rich, not rich, they get their kids vaccinated.
Then because isn't it?
That's the reason why these things don't why that's why we don't have a lot of other things. Like I mentioned polio earlier. That's because we
But aren't those things
get
because of
vaccinated every year.
aren't those things because of anti-vaxxers making a resurgence? Right? Because it hasn't like certain things that were wiped out years ago, like to a very small amount, is making a resurgence because of anti-vaxxers. I think I read an article about that once. I think it might have been like measles or something because of anti-vaxxers that go to school that don't get that kids that don't get their shots. There's certain things that they can contract that obviously other kids with their immune system antibodies and shit like that, they can have it up. I don't listen, man. Again, if Rogan goes, look, I'm not getting the vaccine. Personal choice, cool. The
Yeah.
fact that like in this hypothetical situation, which real quick, 21-year-olds is his demographic. They watch UFC, they watch him. That's 100% his demographic, right?
We are right in that demographic, 21 to like 45-year-olds, I would
Right,
say.
right. So they listen to him. So if he goes, look, I'm not going to take it. Yes, there'll be a certain segment of his listenership that, all right, fuck it, I'm not taking it either. Fine, whatever. You can't do anything about that. The fact that like in this hypothetical situation that he made up himself, goes if a 21-year-old comes up to me and he's healthy, see, like it's a very weird framed question that he posed to himself because it doesn't.
Yeah.
It's like it's almost like that 21-year-old is completely isolated from the rest of humanity, and there's no interaction
And look,
with anybody else.
if we're wearing masks, great. Don't get vaccinated. Wear your mask when you're around your grandpa or your brother or whomever has an underlying condition or compromised immune system, and maintain social distance because you don't know what kind of viral load you have. And I read an article. God, I can't remember now what journalist it was. I believe it was from the New York Times, where she tested positive. Her husband tested negative, and they were living close quarters for a long time, and they decided to go get tested. She tested positive. He tested negative, but he never got sick. And it was, the things that we don't know was the viral load. Like, how was her viral load so low, or that he didn't get sick? But we don't know that. And so while we're still in this phase of
Studying,
everyone has to wear masks.
Mhm.
Everyone, we it's like we're in limbo. God, it's I agree with some portion of what they say because I'm talking about Rogan. I think he's coming from the point of I just don't want the government to tell me I need to have this done.
But
You're infringing on my liberties.
But Rogan is the hypocrite because he himself was testing people to have a podcast with. He's infringing on their civil liberties. So what, you know what I'm saying? Like, so how is he forcing people, if, oh, you want to come on a podcast, you have to get tested? How is that not like, hey, no, you're not going to test me.
He doesn't want to get sick. He doesn't want to get sick.
Oh, but now, so now it's good then. You know what I'm saying? Like,
he doesn't want to get sick. He's healthy. He exercises. He has a clean diet.
Right. But he also tests everybody around him. He goes,
tests everyone around him.
he goes the extra mile. Right. So like you can't, you can't be like,
he invites. Hey, you think Tim Dillon is working out and eating a clean diet?
Exactly.
I'm just saying. I don't know.
No,
but,
obviously
but he's
not.
taking
Obviously
precautions.
Not.
He's taking precautions because he knows it's a thing. But then he's saying, you're 21. Nah, you're good. I mean, look, Joe, I get it. You're in shape. You started this podcast because of him. A lot of the conversations we have or the guests we bring on is to have just real conversations is 100%. Because like we enjoy that format of him and the show that he had, the episode he had with Russell Brand. But at the same time, it's like, okay, you can't, Joe, you're like 55 years old or 53 or 52 or 51 actually. I think he's like 50.
No, I think it's 53. I think it's 53. I think it's 53.
I was like, no matter how many exercise, how well you exercise and how many fucking times you run the hills in LA with what's his name?
Marshall.
Marshmallow or whatever this fuck. Marshall, not Marshmallow. Marshall. Like you're still 53 years old, dude. Like there's only so much you can do, and you're doing everything you can. Your immune system at some point continues to deteriorate, even if it's just
because you're still 53. Because you're still 53.
So, and that's why you take those precautions.
Yes.
That's why you fucking test all these people that come on your show.
It's just like, look.
But go ahead and tell a 21-year-old.
Yeah, exactly.
Not to get tested.
Like it's very like it's very much so. Yeah, that center right wing argument of like, all these we got to do something about all these people that will never affect you, that you'll never come in contact of. You know what I'm saying? That like it's very much like. It's weird, dude, where you look at the totality of the conversation, and like he says it on that next day with Andrew Santino, right, where he's like, oh, you got to remember I'm a jackass and I'm an idiot, but he continues to like kind of double down on what he said. I was like, dude, like it doesn't, context matters. And you look, if like I said it today, I tweeted it, right, like no matter how big this podcast or small this podcast gets, I'm never giving medical advice, right? And I'm not gonna be like, hey man, you should do something. Like this is your take. Your personal choice is your personal choice. When you're the biggest podcast,
perfect example, man.
When you're the biggest podcast in the world, you unfortunately, right? Because it's weird because we look up to celebrities and that's a whole different podcast of a different argument. But you have a responsibility when you make up a hypothetical situation for what I would have done. There's people that take that as gospel. And it's also a very non-contextual conversation because again, it doesn't take into account that 21-year-old, for his example, has a family, has friends, has a social network, any of those things. It's just an isolated 21-year-old that doesn't exist with nobody he created.
Yeah,
it's like if I ask myself, yo, man, if I just ask myself the most random question, if I give a 30-year-old me an advice, well, if I could go back in time and give 30-year-old me an advice, it's a situation that would never happen. You know what I'm saying? But like then make a decision or a hypothesis off of that.
Yeah. So here's where I am going to shit on your entire argument, even though we talked about Rogan. I don't blame Rogan. I disagree with you. I disagree with David Pakman. I disagree with fucking everyone, whether it's Fox or CNN, because we already knew that Joe Rogan is a fucking moron.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
His demographic is 21, maybe a little bit older than 21.
Yeah.
To about 45-ish, maybe late 40s. If you're 21 and older, you should already have some kind of critical thinking. So I get it. There are 30-year-olds that don't have critical thinking, 40-year-olds that don't think critically and think things through.
Right.
Doesn't matter who they're watching. They're just gonna be idiots because that's the nature of who they are.
100%.
I don't blame Rogan. That's his opinion. If he came up with this hypothetical and he said it, me as someone that's thinking critically, I'm like, yeah, I can see where he's coming from. I don't fucking blame him. He's not a fucking doctor. The dude was the host of Fear Factor. He was on news radio with fucking Phil Hartman before Phil
And he
Hartman's
tried to-
fucking
and
wife shot him and shit.
And he tried to
he's
find
a,
Bigfoot.
and he tried to find Bigfoot, and he experiments with DMT to get a fucking higher consciousness. It's like that is who Joe Rogan is. He's a fucking hilarious comedian. He loves DMT and all the psychedelics.
Weed. Yep.
And he has a strong opinion about a lot of shit that he is not an expert in, even though he brings experts. And I'll use the word expert with I have to be careful when I use it, because some of these experts are, whether by his own choosing or whether he does this on purpose or not,
echo chamber.
they have a skewed echo chamber. They have a skewed viewpoint. They have a certain thing that they agree on, just like you can bring an expert on the same subject that says something completely different. So I know who he is. Most people know that that's who he is. Like, if you're really watching these videos, these podcasts, I enjoy the conversations, but if you're really listening to this shit and him saying that, him telling a hypothetical 21-year-old, don't get it because you're healthy, and now it blows up, like he's giving them medical advice, and maybe we need to like step back and look inside ourselves and be like, hey, this is fucking Joe Rogan. Like, let's not make that big of a deal out of it. Come on.
No, 100%, and I'm right there with you. And we spent like probably 25 minutes on this at this point. To probably could have just, but I forgot what I was gonna say because the bourbon just hit me. So I agree with what you're saying, that we can't take Rogan's advice as gospel, because we know who he is. He's a fucking moron, right? He's a comedian. Yeah, he's probably well read and all this shit, but still doesn't make him a subject matter expert. But we are still,
that's just his opinion.
He's right? And we're
this is what you should do.
But what I'm
could,
saying is we're still allowed to criticize his opinion, right? Like his opinion isn't
because he has 9 million followers.
No, I shit on you.
Why are you being such a fucking snowflake, man?
Hey, don't listen here, Donnie D. Don't you bring that shit over here. You should. I have arguments. I have arguments with all my friends all the time about the dumbest shit, right? Like their opinions, and I don't give a fuck how many followers Rogan has. If I listen to a shitty podcast or a shitty audio book, I'm like, nah, this is stupid. I'm gonna change. I also have my own opinion, so my opinions aren't, you know what I'm saying, like deemed, or if, no matter how successful somebody else is, doesn't make their opinion greater. Like I have an issue with their opinion, and I dissect it. Like we shit on people who are Blue Lives Matter, you know what I mean, or different takes on different things because we agree with them, their opinion and their politics, right? That's all I'm saying. Like I'm just, this is just a take on, like, don't, you know what I'm saying? Like I thought what he said was stupid, and that's basically what encapsulating the 35-minute conversation we just had. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying.
Okay, I think it's been blown out of proportion because
who it is. Because of who it is, though.
He's an influencer, and he has a big influence because he has such a far reach. But at the same time, the people that follow him should know. And look, the people that follow him are going to take what he says as gospel.
But
maybe, but I follow him, and I just know that some of the shit he says is just bullshit. Like, it's entertainment. He's an entertainer,
right? But
we should have that at the. But John, that's not the foremost. We should understand he's just an entertainer.
I don't think that's the way most, like me, like my opinion. I don't think that's the way most people look at it. I think if you are a Roganite or a huge Rogan fan, right? Like I'll be honest, I haven't listened to as much Rogan since he moved to Spotify. It doesn't show up in my algorithm as much as it did before. So I don't know. All I see is like the little clips that he puts up on YouTube, right? That he throws up on you. So that's all I really. So I haven't like listened to his 3-hour podcast. Because honestly, 3 hours is way too long. It's exhausting. I can't take two people talking for that long. That's why we've fucking shut down our stuff to like an hour 15, which I think we're getting close to now.
And we're getting there.
Yeah. So you know what I'm saying? Like it's simply too long. So that's why I stopped listening to it. But his opinion isn't safe from criticism, right? It's not like this isn't like a cancel Joe Rogan. Fuck that. That's stupid. I don't believe in cancel culture in that stupidity of a way where like somebody says something, so you got to cancel them. I don't believe in that sense, unless it's like blatantly racist or, you know what I mean, or shit like that. So I give him his opinion. He has that safe space for it, but it's not safe from criticism. That's all. You know what I mean? Like and when you said should, yes, people should have critical thinking, but I guarantee you could think of 10 people off the top of your motherfucking head right now that you know in your career field that don't have critical thinking. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not
Unfortunately,
it's
yeah.
not a common occurrence. So yes, you should take what he says. Like I wasn't like, oh man, when Rogan said that, I was like, fuck, I shouldn't have got vaccinated, even though I'm 37.
That's a different question.
You know what I'm saying?
People, a different topic about people in my career field. Like people will
And career
say,
fields, period, though.
whether it was in the
Not
army
just yours.
or after the army, their comments are it's always with, oh, we shouldn't do that because, but it's not because of facts. It's because of like I feel I
Yes.
have these feelings. I don't
Yes.
like it.
Yeah.
But I'm like,
It makes
but
me
give
uncomfortable.
a fact. Why shouldn't we do it? Why is it better or worse? What is an alternative? Not because I don't like it. I'm used to what I'm doing. Yeah, that's a lot of that bullshit. So
Yeah.
I get it. I mean, I get it.
Yeah, man. All right, let's let's
Look, I will say one last thing, and it has nothing to do with Rogan, but a couple years ago, I got it. Well, it does, and I was trying to say this earlier. I got into a Facebook
Oh no, not a
comments
Facebook.
back and
Oh.
forth, but it wasn't a back and forth. It was a friend of mine from high school. She's like she's a certified dietitian or something. She's got a master's degree. She has her own personal fitness business. Like she is a trainer, and she played sports, soccer in high school. Personal trainer now, certified, master's degree, all that stuff. And she's posted something, or no, I think I posted something, and she commented like something about me. Like I said something, not eating white rice because I was cutting on carbs and white rice. Like I told my kids, I'm like, fucking white rice is like, why are you gonna eat rice? Eating rice is like eating bread, which is like eating air. Like it does nothing for you,
Right.
except it fills you with empty carbs that don't do anything.
There's a lot of
And,
Latinos right now being real mad at you, bro.
They're real mad because they like their
Arroz.
fucking white rice and red or black beans. I
Yes.
know it, but
Arroz.
hey, me too.
Yeah.
But you got to get a small portion. And so, but I remember I was like, hey, personally, this is why I don't do it. And so my friend came on this, commented on my post, and she's like, well, this works for some people. The glycemic index, blah blah blah, is not so much. It affect, you can eat brown rice, you can eat white rice. So just give me the science behind it. I'm like, hey, I got you.
I
And
feel.
you have the
You
degree.
you
You
went
got
with
the
I feel.
degree.
Yeah.
No, I was like, you got the degree, you have the experience, you're a trainer, and you have like the science behind it. And I told her, I was like, hey, and that's all well and good. All I'm saying is, for me personally, like I stated before, these are the results
Right.
I've gotten. You choose to go this route, results may vary. This is my opinion based on my body and how it's reacted to both white and brown rice. And but so we're doing the same thing with Rogan. Like I gave my opinion just like he gave his opinion, but
Incorrect.
I made sure
No.
to put on there that, hey, based on me and my body type and how I react and all that stuff. And I'm some nobody dude who just happened at the time used to just write fucking paragraphs on goddamn Facebook and shit
You
and
did.
get on these
So
all
boring.
out wars.
Listen,
And so she was like, okay, I got you.
why it's different, and we'll again wrap it up here. Why it's different is that was what you think you should do for your body. You weren't giving a hypothetical conversation of what you would tell somebody what to do with theirs. So it's not the same thing.
All right.
Thank
Whatever.
you.
We'll
As always,
let's move
as
on
always.
to the
What do
next
you mean?
topic.
Agree to disagree? Listen, we got what Chick Fil A. It should be open on Sundays.
Let's move on to the next topic. I'm tired of listening to you talking about Rogan.
Okay. Chick Fil A. How upset were you when it was not open on Sundays and your wife reminded you?
By the way, fucking genius.
Yeah.
Fucking genius. I'm
Yeah.
saying it twice. I'm acknowledging what you said. The body of Christ. Fucking genius.
How fucked up was that, though?
I was fucking dying.
let's-
Javi, I think when I sent you that message, Javi was in the car with me,
Uh,
and I was like, man, I wanted to have some Chick Fil A, and then I realized it's Sunday. You're like,
okay.
whatever your audio message said, something about like, you know what?
Can you screen
You're
share
right.
that?
It's
Because I forget.
It's like having the body of Christ, and I
Can't you screen share that shit? Like I think you
screen
could
share what the message.
the WhatsApp shit.
I don't feel like logging. I don't feel like logging into WhatsApp. Actually, I think I can.
Dude, like that's
So while I
probably
do that,
I want to listen. I want to
what?
apologize to all my Catholic family. It was just a joke, but I thought it was fucking hilarious. As I was saying it, I was like, "Yo, that's kind of brilliant.
It was.
That's kind of fucking brilliant." So as John pulls that
It
up,
is.
I don't know what the fuck I was thinking, and
I'm
probably
logging in right now.
probably a terrible person for saying that, but you got to listen to that audio clip of what I said because I don't remember what I said. No. Look, you said it. It's already recorded. It's done. So you just learn and move on. You know what I mean? Dude.
Yeah, something like that.
We'll just throw
I
these last
need
two
to
topics
go
in
to
together.
menu settings, select what's up.
You need to watch One Day at a Time
What's
on
that?
Netflix.
What are the last two topics?
One Day at a Time. The
Tell
show
me
on-
about that while I pull this up.
So it's I found out yesterday. My wife told me that it's a remake of a show that was on from 1975 to 1984. It's from a writer named Norman Lear. He also wrote, like, I think it was like All in the Family, Three's Company. I think he wrote The Jeffersons too. He wrote like all those like progressive TV shows. He's a former Marine, so he wrote all those shows. And now he did the remake because he's still alive, like as a fucking monster.
I know because those shows are from back in the day.
Back in the day. So so there's a show called One Day at a Time, and it has Rita Moreno, which is an EGOT winner. Which, if you don't know what an EGOT is, it's an Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and a Tony. She's of Puerto Rican descent, and she's like the grandmother on the show.
Damn.
Yeah, she's like, I think she's 83. I think she's 83 years old now, bro. She was like the original cast in West Side Story, the play. Dude, that show is fucking great, and it's awesome because like it's an all Spanish cast minus like this one white dude, which is like the building superintendent or whatever it is. You know what I mean? So it's solid, bro. It's a really good show. It has 3 seasons, and so they're Puerto Rican. They're all, everybody's Puerto Rican, I think, but in the show they're all Cuban, which I'm fine with. At least they're all Hispanic. You know what I mean? At least it's not like white people playing like Cubans. But it's a really good show, Mark. It's 30 minutes.
Listen, man.
I recommend it. That's all I'm saying. I'm not gonna hype it up like it's the greatest show
That's
ever.
always gonna bother me, right? I know you brought it up for a reason. I know you brought that up about Hispanics and not all Cubans because I'm still irked about Narcos getting some people to play Colombians.
Yeah.
Which it's fine if you don't get Colombians, if you get a Chilean and Argentinian, but they don't even try to fake the accent because they're like, look, our audience is we know who our target audience is. They don't know a fucking Colombian accent.
Exactly.
I'm still irked about that.
I know you do. I know you are. I hear this shit. No, but it's legit, bro. It's really good. I recommend it if you guys like. I think it's like 3 seasons in each episode. Each season is like 12 or 13 episodes, but it's legit, man. We enjoy it. We've been binging that. Did you pull up my stupid ass take about Chick Fil A?
Okay. I did. Let me put the screen share on here.
Oh my god, I'm a fucking moron, bro.
Portion, sure. Let's do the portion of the screen.
I can't believe I'm allowing this to be.
And you are a moron, but like over here they're gonna see everything. Let me decide.
I don't know
some of my other chats here. I don't need everyone else's business out there.
Yep.
By the way, I'm not as excited as you are for all this OBS update. Until OBS comes up with like a virtual chat room, sort of like OBS Ninja integrated into it. I'm not all
that hyped
excited
about
like
it.
you are. All right, so I'm going to hit. This is sharing the audio, as you can see on screen. I told you, right? You see the message here or back and forth on WhatsApp.
Yeah. I was going
to get some Chick Fil A.
Yeah.
Don't remind me it's Sunday. Wait, this message right here. Oh yeah. This is what I said. Actually, my entire response to her wasn't that. My response to her was, "Oh yeah, they must be praying." And then in my head, I was like, "For gay people to only eat their chicken or to not eat it, profits over beliefs."
Yep.
I didn't say the rest to her, but I was just thinking it because I'm going to hell. That's just how it works.
Yeah.
Let's play this message. Let's play this audio clip from you.
I didn't know atheists ate Chick Fil A. That's weird. But yeah, dude, Chick Fil A on Sunday would be perfect because then you don't gotta cook. You eat the Lord's chicken, which is probably like the body of Christ, and then you're good, right? And then you're saved, and everything's fantastic. So did you see the Rogan shit?
I think that's good.
What else are we gonna talk about?
Lord's chicken, body of Christ, and you're saved, like born again or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah, born again. Yeah. You repent. That's why they're not open on Sundays. They're not trying to save your soul.
This is why I'm a better person than you, okay?
Oh, because how dare you, sir?
Acknowledge I acknowledge that what you said was genius.
Right.
Yet you refuse to acknowledge what was caught on audio where you said what I mentioned on our last podcast with Ant House Beats, where you called what I said brilliant. Like, that's brilliant. Like a fucking light, not even a light bulb, a fucking floodlight went off in your head. Like, that's fucking brilliant. And you were like, what? What are you
I
talking
honestly
about? I don't
didn't.
hear it. I'm like, dude, if I play it any louder, it's gonna blow your eardrums out. Stop
John,
claiming you're deaf.
I'm
All
gonna
right?
be
You don't
no.
even get you don't even fucking get tinnitus from the VA. So you're good. Your hearing is perfect.
I didn't. I
That's
don't. I
why I'm a
can't
better person than you.
look.
I can say what you just said was genius, was fucking comedy gold. I almost, if I was drinking something, I was talking to Javi at the time when I played the audio. I would have spit it all over like his face, the Tahoe, because we were in the Tahoe. We
Uh-huh.
were waiting for Chipotle. Since we
Look.
couldn't get Chick Fil A.
Look, I'll end it like this. If I was a 21-year-old, I would have been able to hear what you said, what I said to you on that podcast. But I'm 37, and 37-year-old Ben didn't hear me calling you brilliant. But yeah, man, you brilliant motherfucker, man. Look, I give you a lot of shit, and I always try to balance it out once every 2 to 3 weeks with a compliment. But yeah, man, like the reason why we do this podcast and the reason we worked on it the way we do is because we troubleshoot and we brainstorm on different ways to make it better. And you know what I'm saying? You can have like 8 fucking businesses. You're a brilliant motherfucker, man. Like that's just inspirational to me too. So now you'll be able to hear that because I broke it down. And I'll be able to hear me call you brilliant, but I didn't hear it before.
And
I know I mouthed something, but I couldn't even mouth because
you're
I had the mic.
regretting it right now. Right now, you're like, why the fuck did I say brilliant so many times?
Actually, no, I'm not. You know why? Because I've called you brilliant on this podcast before, but I've also insulted you plenty of times. So it's a give and take. You know what I mean?
It's a shame that you have to say that. You have to follow it up with an immediate insult because you just can't, your ego can't let you it can't let you recognize true greatness. You're like, you're brilliant.
Okay. All right.
You're also like under 5 feet tall. Your ego just doesn't let you do that.
I've never
for
said
whatever
John
reason, you haven't evolved past that point.
I haven't. I am like Joe Rogan. I am a fucking ape. You know what I mean? I'm a gorilla out here in these streets. So I have to insult you because it's who we are as people. This fucking mic just doesn't want to coordinate with me. But yeah,
How
man.
about you just get rid of that screen, by the way? I got rid of the screen and just use the thing.
I
The
think
screen does what this does.
I think I'm just
You don't
gonna
need
get
the
rid of it.
screen if you have that.
But yeah, man. Look,
I'm trying to look cool.
I can't help it. I gotta try. I gotta try hiding my big ass head as much as possible because I feel like my big ass head is like the size of your entire upper body. So I feel like if people watch this, like, yo,
See, there it is. I mean,
No,
I was.
that's a
counting.
shot
There
at
it is.
me.
I knew that you couldn't help yourself.
That's a shot at
I
me.
knew you just couldn't help. No. I knew
is
you
a shot at
couldn't.
me.
Stop trying to mask it. You couldn't help yourself.
All right,
I
look,
just knew it.
I will say
I was waiting for it.
I will say it without a backhanded compliment or insult. You're a brilliant motherfucker, man. I thank you every day for being my co-host on the show. How about that? Look, no insult, and we could end it right there because I got none. I don't even know how
right
long.
there because I know the insult's coming after we go off air.
No, I got nothing else. Probably we'll talk some shit about
Come on, we've known each other for over 25 years,
dude. No, on some real shit. We haven't known. Watch the show because I feel like Javi could have played the young son on the show. Looks almost fucking identical to him, bro. On One Day at a Time. Give it a chance, man. It's I recommend it. It's good.
I'll give it a shot.
All right, guys. We out, man. Peace.